Hello Aries, and welcome to your April 2019 Lenormand reading. I'm Jade with yesYesYES. Welcome back to the channel. Happy birthday. Special time for you in the year, and this is really exciting to be here in April. We're coming up in April, but coming into Aries season because it is time. Oh, it is time. So I'm going to do the spread a little bit differently this month. If you're brand new, let me explain what's going on. I do the, it's called the Grand Tableau, where I lay out all 36 cards, but I'm going to read them differently. We're going to read them in the 4 areas of health, money, work, and love. So I'm going to just read those 4 elements, and we're going to combine both masculine and feminine, so there's no confusion, basically. So let's see where Aries, where this whole story begins for April 2019. There we go. Oh, cards have been pre-shuffled, and apparently they're jumping all over the place. So the cards have been pre-shuffled. I'm going to lay them out, and then we'll talk about them. If you like this reading, I would love to hear from you in the comment section below. And if you're interested, actually, the way that this will go, if you want to have your own Lenormand spread, what I'll do is I'll replicate this one for you, and I'll talk about it in more detail. And then I would do a totally new spread specifically for you, because this is so general, and that's why I'm kind of changing the reading now, is that it's very difficult to go in depth with the stories when it's just general and I'm talking to so many different people. So I just want to keep it all clear without with as little confusion as possible, because this is a different spread anyway. You know, this is not our standard tarot deck. It's a different way, but I love this deck and I love this spread. So we're working with it. We're doing this. All right, Aries. So first thing is I want to look through and see if there are any cards in their own houses. So give me a moment. Okay, well, we've got the house in its own house, fun enough. So this is like a color, this is a flavor for your reading. And the house being in its own house is really telling you that everything is safe, okay? If you're wondering if everything's gonna be okay, things are safe for you at the moment. And it may be, if you're feeling complacent, if you're feeling like you're kind of stuck, you might be playing too safe, okay? So this is about safety and feeling secure. So right now you might be feeling secure, and everything in this reading will be adding to that security feeling. But do question yourself if you're feeling a little too settled in, you know? We don't want to be complacent. We don't want to just accept life as it is, because especially with your power and your passion, we need the Aries to keep moving forward. Okay, so always moving forward. All right, give me a second. I gotta just get in my creaky chair. Okay, so let's talk about what's going on just in general around you. What I'm seeing is, I'm seeing a lot of, there are people in your thoughts. I'm seeing that. So you could be thinking about relationship. We'll talk specifically about love and relationship towards the end there. But if you are in a family, if you're married with children, they're in your thoughts consistently. So you're making choices that are best for them, and for their best and their highest good, which is beautiful and wonderful to do. What I'm finding is that you might be in a situation where you are either the boss or someone who is looked up towards in your community. And there's actually a loose connection to money in that way. So you might actually earn money. Usually this combination, what I'm looking at here is the fox and the park card, the garden card, community, and that the fish is right here. This actually might mean that you have an online presence, an online community where you're leading people and that you're earning money. So that's how I would look at that. So this definitely could be one of the ways in which you're earning income. I'm not really specifically talking about the money too much quite yet. I'm still in this area here. So we're looking at the masculine and the feminine, all of you, you know, kind of all together. So I'm feeling like, you know, you've had some really great health that's supporting you, which is beautiful. And there also might be some tension, some nervousness that's related to family. And this would be like either your parents or authoritative figures. So if you do work for someone else, there might be a little bit of tension at work right now between you and your boss or you and your manager, somebody who is above you. And we're also seeing, you know, we talked about that home and that security. That seems pretty solid. That seems pretty locked down. It is all connected to this family situation. So maybe you had in the past moved and felt a little bit unsettled in your home. And I'm feeling like right now we're really starting to get settled, really starting to feel good about that, which is beautiful. The bear card can also be money as well, so like finances, and there could be that direct connection between having moved for a job, and there's a little bit of nervousness or tension because you're still trying to get settled into it, okay? But again, all in all, looking really good. You've got some kind of commitment. It's possible that you might have a commitment to either higher education or to the government, doing some kind of travel here in a larger organizational plane. So you might even work for, you know, you might have just taken a job or working towards a job in aviation or in maritime, working on boats even. Sometimes those two cards move together, sometimes not. And you also just might be connected and talking about or making a commitment to, you know, signing a new contract, or even hospital work is there. So it looks like what's going on for you, Aries, is that there's a settling that's happening in the home. You're starting to feel more settled. You've been questioning it. There might have been some change, some nervousness about settling in, but it's really starting to come together. The only tension that I'm seeing right here is with an authoritative figure, maybe at work. It could be a parent as well, that's bringing on a little bit of that nervousness. And there's also some burdens that might be a little bit further down the line. So they might just give you some more work projects, or, you know, they might have you look at their will even. Sometimes that could be what that is. So all in all, the settling is happening. Rest assured that you are safe, you are secure with where, you know, you've made good choices to get you to this place so far. There's still some confusion underlying, but I think that as this month progresses, you're going to start feeling a little bit better. There will be some transformation coming, and it might be a slow change. So if you're feeling like there's going to be a need to change, and this could be related to your, you know, if you are married, there could be a change in the marriage, and it could just mean that perhaps there was some challenges in the past and now it's changed to be better. But there's some type of transformation that's coming for you, and it could just be a slow transforming. But for right now, the question really is are you secure? Are you safe? And the answer is yes. Now let's talk about specifically your money, which is the fish. So like I was saying, the fish, it's kind of related here to this community card that's down here. So if you haven't considered before making money online in an online community, the fox is a card of ingenuity and creativity and cunningness. So it's, you know, it's innovative. So we're talking about like innovative, community, action oriented, which is, you know, totally you, Aries. This is where your money is connected. If it's not, you could actually benefit from that. So that's what I'm seeing here. There might even be a loose connection of it being, I mentioned a hospital earlier, but if you work at a hospital, maybe you are developing something for a hospital, you know, like hospital organizations. You're developing a program or an app or something like that for the hospital to use, something along those lines. But the other thing is that this could just mean roots, like you're actually grinding in and starting to set up yourself for a long-term success, which is great. Great news there. You also love what you're doing, which I appreciate. It's really important when you're making money that you love what you're doing, because then you'll continue to generate more. So I feel like you're just getting into this place where you're getting into this nice stride. The house movement or the home family movement is starting to settle. And now, you're building really well with your money. Your money's starting to settle out too. Whatever, there might have been some, I'm not seeing too much of it, but there might have been some debts in the past. We all kind of have those things, but I'm not seeing anything that was hugely throwing you and that you had to build way back up. So no big deal there. Now, this is your health card in general. So right now it looks like your health is pretty solid. It actually is quite blessed by support. Like I think that you learn about things. If you get a cold or a cough, I think that you don't ignore things that happen to you. I think that you kind of know what's going on or what's going around. So, your community might say, hey, I've got a head cold, be careful, or, some kind of something's going around. I think that you're pretty aware and keen to what's going on. What I am finding is that maybe there is some, you might have been in this depressive state, okay? This might have been just a mental issue. And again, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, we're just coming out of winter time. So depression does happen. It is part of the nature of the elements and of the seasons. So I think this is more of just a head issue, a mental issue. You're just tripping yourself up a bit. Getting out of your head is what will be helpful for you. But just a little bit of depression or confusion, maybe just lack of clarity in what to do, because we were talking about this home situation really needing to settle down, and that the money is starting to work. So it seems like everything's really starting to settle in for you, but we just want to make sure you don't get complacent with it, okay? So you have been working hard and things are really coming to fruition. The question is, now what are you going to do, right? That's the next step, is now don't get complacent in it. Don't relax into it too long. Enjoy it, celebrate it, and then decide what's next. And what I'm feeling is that the next thing coming forward will be the focus on the family or the relationship, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But for the most part, your health is looking good. It's really just mental health, just checking yourself here. I always tell myself to check my vitamin level, so do that. Supplements will help with head fog too, even. So it's kind of interesting when you get out of that foggy place, all of a sudden, you didn't realize that you were in a fog, which is very interesting. So just keep that in mind too. So maybe check and see if you need some more nutrients or electrolytes or something like that. Anything that might get you out of a head fog. Okay, and then, so we talked a little bit about if you were working for yourself, and if you're working for another, I'll just hit that again, is that there's just a little bit of tension coming up between you and someone who might be an authority over you. And what might be coming up is that they might ask more of you than what you want, what you're willing to give, what you signed up for. So, it's possible that we've got a little bit of a burden with a contract coming forward. And maybe you thought you knew what the job was going to be about, and that it's actually unfolding in a different way, that you signed a contract. And if you signed it during Mercury in retrograde, this might be reviewing of that. You might have to go back and redo it, because that sometimes happens. So, but again, there's a lot of support. See how if you are in a family, you guys are kind of all here in the middle together, which is really nice. There is some confusion, so that's what we'll talk about in a second. But it's really nice that everybody's kind of working together, all on the same plane, all feeling the same things together. So moving from this, getting settled into this home situation is really the first step in all of it. And I think that's great. Not seeing too many troublesome cards around that. Okay, here we are with the love. So I'm going to talk about it in two ways. The love here is the heart. And this is like a really sweet, long-term love. This could be, if we're talking about, twin flames or soulmates or something, this is a love that has been slowly kind of developing. And there were some choices that were made in it. I think ultimately it got to a stable place, and this could be what, if you're in a current relationship that, you know, that you've made this decision to be together, and that you might have been together for quite some time. The other thing that this can mean is if you're not in relationship, this is actually a sensuality card. So you're starting to learn how to connect the sensuality of, you know, the nature, softening a bit, Aries, and actually feeling into your sensual nature and expressing that with your love, which is beautiful. So this is, you know, that highly romantic nature. This is the receptive mode. This is the enjoyment for pure pleasure of how things feel and not really having to do much. So it's a different role for you if you're kind of been playing and allowing. There's a lot of blessings that's come from that. I think that you're interested and excited about perhaps this new way of loving and experiencing life in love. And again, it doesn't really matter if you're in a relationship or not when we're talking about this, because I think we've been in a lot of reflection about what we really want in life. And I think that when we get to a point where you realize, you know, this part of me I really want to express, or this part of me is missing, you start to give it to yourself, and you start to kind of express it or explore it yourself first, so that then you can bring it into relationship. So I feel like that was what's been going on with your heart. Now with your commitment, this was the ring, right? This would be the marriage. And everybody's kind of here in the middle. That's what I'm saying here. So if it is a family where there is a marriage already, what I'm feeling here is that there's been some confusion, and there is going to be a change in this connection, in this relationship. Now the change can be that it ends. It can mean that it is a slow change. There's a couple with lots of different ways, but this route right here is challenging because it starts with confusion. So, you know, there's some type of confusion happening if this is an ongoing relationship, and that confusion itself may end. It just may take some time for it to end. So there's a couple different ways to read it. If you are feeling like you're resonating with, you feel like your relationship is coming to a close, then just know that it's going to take a little bit of time to fully kind of disentangle. If you feel like your relationship has been confusing, gone through the ringer, but you feel like there's a transformation coming, then what that's saying is that there is an ending to this confusion, and it's going to be some work, right? It's going to be slower in getting it back to ground zero, getting it back to feeling good and supportive again. Okay, so you just have to, there's some building coming forward. So it's up to you to decide which way that resonates. If you are not in relationship, this is a commitment that you have made, and I was talking about it being through work or through some type of journey for yourself in your future. There's, you know, we've got money way back here, we've got health way back here. So this is really just you kind of committing to aspects of your life, whether that be, you know, a new gym membership, I talked about that, or if this is, you've decided to take a trip somewhere, and maybe it's on, you know, one of those big cruise lines, because that would be an organized boat thing, but there's some type of commitment that's being made that's even transforming your life. And again, that can be that it's going to take a little bit longer, or it's going to be a little bit of work, but man, it should be sweet on the other side. We'll find out more in May, but that's really interesting. Now, as far as this family is concerned, I feel that this is what's really supportive. If this is a family situation, this is a supportive element because it's kind of along the lines and a little bit up underneath. So the commitment is really important to this family. It's something that the family looks to and feels kind of, you know, it's definitely a part of your everyday life. It's not like you're two people who are who are together but not feeling together. You know, you're definitely a unit here, okay, if it is a family situation. So that's what I'm seeing there. So let me go back, let me try to recap it all. Here we go. Money's looking good. It's been something that you're kind of wanting to get settled. I think that that's going to be the thing that's going to lock in for you here in April for sure. What has been going on for you is feeling more secure, specifically in this home situation, more stable at home, maybe in the family, maybe at the physical home if you did make an actual move. There might be a little bit of tension at work, specifically with your boss, where you might be asked to do something more than what you had signed up for or thought you had signed up for. You might also have to redo your contract, look at the fine print if you signed it specifically in Mercury retrograde, because that sometimes happens. Your loving life might be, you might be in a long-term relationship that's going through some changes right now, and it could either go one way or the other, kind of depending on what's feeling natural. What I'll say, let me just give some advice here, is that it's going to be really it's going to be really important to be open and honest and not keep any secrets. Let the truth come forward, because that's what's that's what all of this is kind of hinging upon. All this transformation is happening because there are secrets here. And if you let the secrets out, then there's going to be more conversation. There's going to be maybe some arguments about it or maybe some disagreements, but I think that you might come to a better resolution. Remember, this was also redoing contracts up here. This might be redoing the marriage contract. It could be coming up with new vows type of thing, okay? And if you are single, this might be, you know, this time where you start to delve into the luxury and the receptive mode, really feeling good in your body, not necessarily doing, but being. So I think it's a different way for you, Aries, if you're not in relationship, to kind of play in your sensuality. And it's really quite interesting because there's a lot of things opening up for you when you do that. And if you do that, all of this will come to you. All of the people in your life will come to you as well, because they're just kind of on, you know, further on down the road. This family could be with children or not. It's, you know, apply it as it is. So that's what I have for you, Aries. Let me know if you have any comments or questions in the comment section below. Hit that thumbs up button if you are enjoying this. And if you want to do your own Lenormand reading with me, my website information is in the box below. We would revisit this reading, and then I'll do a whole new one specifically for you. But for now, I'll send you all my love. See you next time.